Good afternoon, and thank you, parents, to connect to the presentation of the transition 11th grade to senior year class of 2023. If you can please take a moment and register in the chat, there is a link for you to register. Can you please take a moment to register? And thank you again for connecting to the transition meeting for the junior to senior, the class of 2023. And thank you again for everybody that is connecting. If you can please sign in the chat, there is the link so you could register. Please sign in and take a moment. While we'll be waiting for other parents, they're still connecting. I could see a couple parents are writing their name, but there is the link. If you click on the link, you should be able to open it up so you could register in the link. Unfortunately, we're not taking any questions when you raise your hand. If you have a question, you could write it down where it says Q&A or in the chat. Since parents are still logging in, we're going to give you a couple more minutes and we'll get started with our presentation. You sign in the link, which it is in the chat. Just click on in the link and it should open up and you will be able to sign in. Thank you for the parents. They're saying they're done. We're going to give the parents a couple more minutes and we'll be getting started. And thank you for your patience. So thank you to all the parents that connected to our presentation today for the transition from the 11th to 12th grade. Okay, the objectives today that we're going to be talking about is the CAFS testing, senior year timelines, the important events, senior year expenses, college and university admission process, and staying informed. We're going to be talking about what is CAFS. CAFS is a state exam used to monitor a student's progress. It includes computer adapted tests in English and language arts and mathematics, as well as paper-based testing for science. The administration for the test is given in April and math administered in May. Early assessment program, the EAP, which will determine where students' college are readiness level. and what level they will start within the college. That's what the test will help them a lot for. College and CAS, part of the early assessment program, EAP, which is used in California State Universities and CSUs in California community colleges. Above standard students may enroll directly in CSU's colleges level, in English level, and or math. At or near standard, students must take an approved senior year-long English and or math course and pass it with a C or better in both semesters. Students are encouraged also to take the SAT or ACT in the junior year as an additional way of determining if they are ready to college and level courses in English and language arts and mathematics, and also because many colleges and universities are still requiring them, but many are not. And this will also help you save money depending on what level the student is in English or math. The timeline for the senior year. This is what we have right now that the students should be looking at. During July, the senior pictures start, which is they're going to be getting the information. During August through November, you need to prepare college applications, request letters of recommendation, check private colleges, application process. Dates will vary, so it's very important for them to keep an eye on all the deadline. File FAFSA or California Dream Act. Attend college, financial aid workshops offered at our school, college application deadlines, and through December through February, local scholarship deadlines, research financial aid scholarship opportunities. During March, the FAFSA and Dream Act deadline, start community college enrollment. During April, continue researching a scholarship application. Financial aid packages are sent out. Take college assessment tests as necessary. In May, all the students must have completed their community service. Remember that in the state of California, 35 hours are required. And if you're in Avid or in Puente, you must have 100 hours of community service. You also have the senior ball, the UCCSU deadline for enter to register, and the request for final official transcripts. And in June, of course, it is our graduation. Now we're going to be talking about the important events during senior year. One of them is the AP exams in May, the SAT test, which is June 4th, May 25th deadline to apply for the date for other are to be determined. The ACT test registration deadline for June is the 11th, for ACT is May the 6th. Registration deadline for July the 16th, ACT is June 17th, and more days to be determined. Pachella, which is in May. Pachella is the one where the seniors are saying goodbye and welcoming the juniors, and the juniors are saying goodbye to the seniors. Then we also have the college fair during the fall of 2022. The college representatives will visit the fall during 2022. The ASAP test, which is a test that is administered by the military, just by taking the test doesn't mean that your student is going to enroll in the military. It is a great test because it could show you the strengths and weaknesses of the student. And sometimes this could even determine what their interest might be at, because you'll find out what they're really good at. The college information night, financial aid night, the honors night, and the senior ball in May.
Before we continue, Maria, Ms. Fu, there seems to be several questions in the chat regarding SAT and ACT and whether students need to take that, and also in regards to community service hours, if you could address that, please.
Yes, I'm trying to type it in really quickly. Sorry about that. So yes, so you want me to answer that now?
Yes.
So SAT and ACTs are optional for the CSUs or UCs. As far as community service hours, 100 hours are still required for Avid and Puente students. It is hard during COVID, but they do have some online options as well. There are some online options, and so look in our PHS, on our PHS website, and there is a link there, and some of the options will be there, and it's a volunteer service within our community, so you can filter it through that. Is that it?
Okay, we're going to be talking about the possible costs during the senior year. This is just the average, and it is not all required. It's just we're just going to talk to you guys about the average cost for all the activities for their senior year. Okay, the senior pictures could cost from $200 to $600. The yearbook, it could be $95 or more, depending if you're going to buy the pages to dedicate to your student. The senior ball is the dresses, the tux, the limo, the hair, the nails, flowers, dinner. All that's up very quick, and it could range, from $500 to $3,000, depending on your budget and what you're going to be able to afford for your student. The class ring, which they could average from $150 to $600. The cap and gown, an average of $100. Graduation party, that depends on you. And the homecoming tickets with the clothing, and that is $100 to $200. The senior trip, it could be from $300 to $400, and that is determined by the class of 2023, because they'll vote where they would like their trip to go. So tell your students to please attend the meetings and vote. So otherwise, sometimes they get upset because they don't like what their trip they're going, but that's why it's important for the students to take part in the voting. Graduation, sashes and lace, it could be from $0 to $200, depending on you as well. The SAT is $54 up to $75, the ACT as well. But we do have waivers available for the students where they could go to the Career Center and ask for the application for a waiver. The college visits could start from $100 to $1,500, depending where you're going, because you could start going like to the close ones around our area, and then you could go further out. The college applications are $300 to $400, and which is the estimate. The CSU applications are $200. 3 UC applications are $280. The college placement fees, community college fees, the CSUs and UCs are from $20 to $110. The estimates of enter to register fee is $0 to $500. And the housing application and deposit depends on what college your student's going to be attending. It could range from $300 to $800. And remember, these are just estimate, and not everything is required for your student to do. That's up to you, the student and the parents.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Melanie Mosley, and I'm one of the college and career advisors here at Pittsburgh High School, and we're going to discuss money for college. So the first thing we want to talk about is FAFSA, which is the free application for student aid. This is federal and state financial aid for colleges and universities and trade schools. Anyone who is a U.S. citizen and some eligible non-citizens can apply for FAFSA. If your student is not eligible for FAFSA, they may qualify for the California DREAM Act. California DREAM Act is similar to FAFSA, but this is only state financial aid for colleges and universities. It is not federal money. It comes directly from the state of California. This is for undocumented students who have attended school in California for the last 3 years, for at least 3 years. This does not have to be back-to-back or consecutive. So let's say if a student was here and they were here 5th and 6th grade, and then they left and they came back, and then they did their sophomore, junior, and senior year, they would be able to, and they're undocumented, they would be able to apply for the California DREAM Act. Students who live in California and meet the eligibility requirements for some non-residential exceptions, such as, or students who have a U visa or a TSP can also apply for the California Dream Act. Next slide, please. So there will be some changes for the class of 2023. The state of California is now requiring that all seniors complete the FAFSA or the DREAM Act. This is going to be really important for your seniors as well as parents. What we're going to do is probably in late September, October, we're going to be asking your students to create their FSA ID number. What that is that's basically how they log into FAFSA. To complete that, they will need their social security number. So we're going to ask the students up front if they know it. If not, you might get a text during the middle of the day saying, hey, mom or dad, College and Career Center is asking me for my social security number. That is because we're trying to get your student logged into FAFSA. One of the things that you can do, and we're trying to encourage our students, our rising seniors, is that is something that they need to memorize. A lot of them will put it in their phones, but we encourage you to encourage your student to start memorizing their social security number. So what do you need to do next to help your student? FAFSA and the California Dream Act both open on October 1st, and they close March 2nd. The earlier you do the process, the easier it is for a lot of students. What we want you to do, as I stated, is get your student's social security card and your parent 2021 taxes. So we're in April right now. We've got a couple more days before the deadline to file your taxes. What we recommend is make sure you put them in a safe place, because come October, November, December, your students are going to ask you for your taxes. We do understand a lot of parents, FAFSA can be a little confusing for a lot of parents. We do have financial aid workshops twice a year. We strongly encourage that you come to those events. Sometimes students will come in with their parents' taxes. We are seeing this year, a lot of students are coming in with errors on their taxes, on their financial aid, because either the parents have done it and done it incorrectly. They've had an older sibling try to help them do it and they've done it incorrectly. And what that does is it delays your student from getting their financial aid, because you have to provide more documents. So one of the examples is a parent might say that they are separated, but they truly live together, and one parent is filing head of household. You cannot file head of household and be married. And so what that does is that's a trigger to the IRS. So if you have any questions about FAFSA, it is just best that you have your student come to the College and Career Center and we can walk them through that process, because we hate to see at the end of the year that a student who has done all that hard work, they don't get to go to the college of their choice because there's been an error on their FAFSA due to their parents, and now their parents have to pay out of pocket and they can't afford to pay it. So those are kind of the things that we want you guys to really be cognizant of. So the two things that we want you guys to start getting ready: your student social security number and your 2021 taxes. Also, there's a misconception about FAFSA. A lot of times students will come in and say, oh, my mom and dad aren't going to do it because they say we make too much money, so we're not going to get anything. There are middle-class scholarships. If your student doesn't apply for the FAFSA, then you might not get it. Also, don't take the data that you had from your student who may have graduated 3 or 4 years ago. Everything changes in education. So while maybe you did not receive federal funding when your previous student graduated, your student this year who graduates in 2023 may be able to get it. Also, when it comes to community college, you'll hear students say, oh, I'm just going to go to a community college because it's free. That is a correct statement. But in order to get your community college free, you have to complete the FAFSA. So it doesn't matter if you make $20,000 or $200,000. If your student is going to community college, they also must complete a FAFSA as well. So that, we're hearing that a lot too. The students are saying, oh, my mom and dad said, I'm just going to LMC, so I don't have to do FAFSA. Yes, you do have to do FAFSA to go to community college for free. I'm going to go ahead and now
One
introduce.
one of the questions, Melanie, they have what would happen if they do not apply for FAFSA? And then another question that says, do they need to do it for the military? Since a lot of times they'll attend college while in the military.
Okay, I'm going to introduce my counterpart, Ms. Walker, and she's going to answer some of those questions as well as talk to you guys about CCGI.
Okay, so to answer the question about if you should apply and your students going to the military, yes, you can apply for financial aid if you're going to the military, because many students may decide to take college courses while they're in the military. And although in the military, you can use the GI Bill, you still can use the get Pell Grant money that will go into your pocket. So yes, you can and should do financial aid if you're going to the military. What was the other question about? And Ms. Mosley explained that, in order to go to LMC or any community college, you have to complete a FAFSA application. And I also answered another question. FAFSA consists of scholarships, grants, loans, work study, and you don't have to accept the loan portion if you don't choose to. Okay, then there's another question. If my child's unsure whether they're going to college or joining the service, do they still have to fill out the FAFSA? Yes, because at the end of the day, it's all about options. Our students seem to change their mind every day, every week, sometimes every month. So doing the FAFSA application is a good thing. You don't have to accept loans that you do not want. What about them starting LMC in the fall, but yet we don't apply for FAFSA until the October? If your student applies for LMC in the fall, it is $1 per course, or it's free if you choose to do the dual enrollment and take classes here at Pittsburgh High School with LMC while they're students. Seniors, students, period.
Yeah, while they're high school students, yes.
While they're still high school students.
And then the FAFSA is for when they leave high school.
Right. It's just, but FAFSA is not free in the loans. I don't quite understand that question. Okay. So I'll get started. If you have any more questions, put them in the chat.
Can I just add one more thing before I see a lot of questions about the, and I think you touched base about the unsure. What I want to reiterate is that the state of California is requiring that all students doing. That's not coming from Pittsburgh Unified. That is coming from the state. If you do not want your student to complete a FAFSA, you will need to send us a message saying that you're opting out, because this is being mandated by the state of California. This is not anything that Pittsburgh is saying students have to do. All students in every county of California are doing the FAFSA.
Okay. So now I'd like to start talking about the California College Guidance Initiative, known as CCGI. CCGI is a new platform that we started using this year. And what CCGI is, it's a one-stop shop for our students to be able to apply for college, apply for FAFSA, apply for career exploration to find out what their interest is and what type of job and career that they will be good at. They can also check their, it's called academic planner. They can see if they're on track to graduate. They can see if they're on track to attend a four-year college, whether that's a UC or a CSU. So it's a one-stop shop platform. So far, it's been successful. It's great. Why is it valuable? It's valuable because all stakeholders can see the progress of their students, whether that's their counselor, their teacher, their parent, the College and Career Center, or the administrators. Another thing is, once we find out what their interests are and what careers they're interested in, we can invite those industries in to talk to the students about the industries that they're interested in joining once they leave high school. Also, it gives you an easy, quick look at which classes you may need to retake to graduate and or to attend a four-year college. It also has a place where you can store all of their documentation, whether that's essays for scholarships, transcripts, everything that they're going to need for scholarships and or career exploration and or college. What's next? Most of our students, 97% of our student population have already created an account and have started working on that throughout the school year. Next fall, well, this fall, excuse me, this fall, our next phase is working with their parents on creating their account so that they can see what's going on and what their students' interests are and what they choose for their career, what major they choose and which college they choose. So we're asking all our students right now to choose at least 3 colleges, 3 majors, and so that they can have it on in their queue, so that we can invite colleges out that they're interested in and to give more information about what their college has to offer. If you want more information about CCGI, you can go on to there's a link right here on the College and Career webpage, and there's a tab just for college. Excuse me. There's a tab just for CCGI, so that you can get more information about it, and you can create your account if you choose to. Next. The California State Colleges, which is known as CSU. If your student is interested in attending one of the public schools in the state of California, the application fee, it says $75, but it's $70, and that can be waived depending on your family income. And usually you won't find it out until you're working on the application, and after they ask you a list of questions about how much your parents make and things of that nature, and the number of students in your household, it will determine if you qualify. The application opens up October 1st and it closes November 30th. So it gives us 2 months to try and get all of our seniors apply to CSU. Your students can create their CSU profile now if they choose to. We have attached the link to the application. In order to attend a California State University CSU, you must have a minimum GPA of 2.0. We recommend that all of our students apply to more than one campus, because many of our campuses in California are impacted, which means they have more students trying to get in than they have seats available for them. So that's why we ask that make sure that they apply to more than one. Also, CSU East Bay and San Francisco State are our local area preference, which means that those schools we will have priority, because they're the 2 closest CSUs to Pittsburgh High School. Next. Then we have the UCs. The UC's application fee is $75, and you can receive a waiver for 4 free colleges. That application opens August 1st, but you can't submit it until October 1st. But as you can see, it opens up before we even start school. So, and that one's a little more time consuming, and that one requires a little more work than a CSU. So that's why we'd like to get them started as soon as possible on that and not procrastinate, because there's a lot of work to do with that. The minimum GPA eligibility is 3.0. And with that application, it requires the students to write 4 essays, which basically determines if you're going to get into that college. They really look at that with a fine tooth. And we also ask them to apply to more than one college there, because many of those campuses are also impacted. We also ask the students to do a little research on the campuses, and we can do that through CCGI when they're choosing their 3 colleges, and to see if that college, 1, offers their major, and 2, they can see where they fit in, and based on the previous year's GPAs and courses taken. Next.
All right, independent private colleges, out-of-state colleges, and historically Black colleges and universities. So there is something called the WUI, which is a program where students who live in the state of California can attend schools in the Western region, at a reduced rate. If your student is thinking about going to school in maybe Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, or Washington, they can definitely check into the WUI, and there's a link on the website. Admissions requirement vary. Their application deadlines will vary. Some of these schools, because they are private schools and out-of-state schools, will still require your student to take the SAT or the ACT. We recommend that your student look at the school they're interested in to see if that is required. But again, remember, the UCs and the CSUs do not require SAT or ACT. A lot of the schools will require you to complete an application, which we call a Common App. So there's 2 different types of Common Apps. We have the Common App, which has several schools, a lot of the private schools, and you just do one application, and your application is filtered through these other universities that you select. Then there's also the Black Common Application, which is has 53 historical Black colleges and universities where you can apply to those schools. As it relates to historical Black colleges and universities, these schools are not exclusive to Black or African American students. They are open to anyone that applies. Next slide. So a college freshman profile. So we recommend that you and your students start researching your majors, the majors that they're interested in. Start researching which colleges and universities offer that major. Each school has a freshman profile, and basically what it does is it's going to look at a snapshot of the previous class. So it's going to look at the students who are graduating this year, and it will give you a basis of what that student looked like, what their acceptance of was that student based on their grade point averages. You and your students should be looking at their high school transcripts to compare their scholars GPA to the freshman profile. We strongly recommend, if you can, to visit colleges or universities. I know we do have spring break coming up next week. Great opportunity for your students to go and look at Sac State, Cal State, East Bay, San Francisco State, maybe USF or Berkeley, because those are all close within the Bay Area. Maybe during the summer, if your student is thinking about going to school in SoCal, you plan one of your vacations around visiting those campuses. Also, a lot of the colleges do virtual tours, so your students can also do a virtual tour. Next slide. So this is an example of a freshman profile, and this is from the class of 2021. So it will show the average GPA of a student who applied to UC Berkeley. So you can see their unweighted GPA was approximately 3.86 to 4.0, and their weighted GPA was 4.25 to 4.61. In 2021, UC Berkeley had over 100,000 applicants. They admitted 16,000, and it was approximately 14%. So of the students that applied to UC Berkeley in 2021, 14% of those students were accepted for admission. So this is really critical that when your student is starting to think about which colleges that they go to, that they are looking at that freshman profile. So if you have a student who might have, let's just say a student has a 2.8, does that mean that they're not going to get into UC Berkeley? It is a very competitive school. I'm not going to say that they're not going to get in. I'm sorry, they don't meet the requirement. I'm sorry, correct. So let's say if it's a 3.02. Okay, I'm sorry. While your student meets the requirement, because the school is so competitive, they might not get acceptance to that school. That does not mean that there's no meaning that they can't go to Berkeley. Maybe what they have to do is maybe they go to a junior college for 2 years and transfer to Berkeley, because at that point they can get their grades up. And don't get me wrong, 3.0 is an amazing grade point average, but it's just very important that your student look at the GPAs to see if they are competitive with the previous class that just graduated the year before them. Next slide.
Hello. Okay, NCAA eligibility. If your student plans to play at the collegiate level, they should make sure they give us a call, come into the College and Career Center so we can get their portal created. And it's important that they start in their junior year, because there are required classes that they need to take. And we want to make sure they start off in their senior year with the right classes in case they're missing a few classes or not. So here's the link if you want to get more information about the NCAA. But if they need any help with that, we're always here, lunch, brunch, or after school, we can help them get started on that. Next slide, please. Oh, letter of recommendation. Okay.
Sorry.
Letter of recommendation. Excuse me.
I think that's mine.
All right, sorry.
They changed it on you. Okay, letters of recommendation. Some are required for certain colleges and universities. We do want our students to come and talk to us a couple weeks before, at least a couple weeks before the letter is due. Schools are interested in seeing letters from counselors, administrators, teachers of core subjects. So that's really important. We always tell students to please, get somebody who knows you well. And if they do need a letter from a counselor and we don't know you that well, we do give you a form to fill out, and we meet with you to discuss, some strengths and in areas that you want us to point out. Certain colleges require a specific format. So, it's really important that you take a look at that and that we take a look at it so that we can make sure that, that you can get into those colleges and we can help facilitate that for you, hopefully. Community service hours are really important. And that's why most of our college-bound seniors, students go and do, more community service hours related to the student's major. Next slide, please. Transcript requests. So at the end of the year, they usually ask for transcripts. Please check areas to ensure accuracy. So just make sure that the grades that your student has received is on there correctly. And then if not, definitely come and talk to your counselor. You can request them. This is a new program we're doing. It's called Parchment. So request the transcript through Parchment. Pay close attention to the college, to the deadlines. We do have deadlines of December and June. Usually they want a mid-year report and an end-of-year report. Thank you very much.
So on the PHS College and Career website, we have a list of scholarships. We update our scholarships at least, I would say at least twice a week. There's also links for FAFSA, the California Dream Act, as well as the Cal Grant GPA information. Next slide. Okay. Community colleges, career and technical colleges. So LMC, DVC, and Contra Costa College registration will start in spring 2023. These schools do not require SAT or ACT. Your student is able to get an associate degree or a career certificate. They will prepare you to transfer to a four-year university if that's what your student is choosing to do. Community colleges offer programs such as fire science, dental hygiene, and nursing. And most campuses will require an assessment test for math and English. Some college admission mistakes. Getting poor grades your senior year or not taking your courses or your grades seriously. Students that might follow the pack and have not, or maybe they've not done enough research or visited the possible colleges or universities that they're interested in. Believing there's only one right college, not considering private colleges because of the cost, not allowing enough time to write their college entrance essays, incomplete applications, failing to utilize resources available at PHS. We have our academic counselors, we've got our College and Career Center that is here to help, as well as our EALP program and TRIO. So there's a lot of resources here available to help students as they're going through the college admission process. Forgetting that all acceptances are provisional. So of course, the student, when they apply to college, they're going to have to submit their transcripts in December. Schools are going to require that you submit another transcript in at the end of the year, student in June, because that will be your final transcript. So if a student maybe has their grades have declined that final semester, a college can come back and revoke their admission. Failing to notify colleges of D's and F grades in their senior year or course changes. And applying to colleges that you have no interest in or you won't attend. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Maria.
Thank you. Thank you, Melanie. Now we're going to talk about how can you as a parent help your student. some of the biggest helps is to monitor your students' progress regular via the areas portal, especially as the seniority set in. Remember that you could set up a weekly progress report sent to you in your areas. If you have not set one up, you can always contact me and I will gladly help you. Be aware of college entrance exams deadline. That is very important because your student might miss the deadline to the college that he really wants to attend. Ask your student what their plan is for studying, writing essays, completing applications. Do not complete applications for the students. You should review them after the student has completed them. Visit college campuses with your scholar. Talk about finances early. Enjoy scholar. Build positive memories together in your child's senior year. So those are many important ways that you are able to help your student to be successful and to create all like a portfolio. So he could get all the information that he needs to apply for all the colleges of his choice. Graduation pictures. Be on the lookout for the postcard in late May through June with the information on graduation pictures appointment. It is going to be through Achievers, and you could purchase the graduation announcements, cap and gown, tassel, and class ring. And you could order the senior pictures in the fall of 2022. I know a parent asked what would happen if they cannot take their pictures in August or July. Well, they do have a makeup day, but you do have to be on top of the messages that we send out with that information because otherwise the spots do fill out really quick. U.S. students travel, not sponsored by the high school. Just remember that the trip, we are not responsible. They contract a company and they're the ones that get together with the class of 2023 for how much it's going to cost and where they're going to go. So the trip includes deluxe motor coach transportation, 1 day at Disney Magic Mountain tickets, and the prices to be determined or the place. It includes dinner. And please tell your student their vote matters, so tell them to go to the meeting for the class of 2023. Parents, staying informed. The best ways is for you to check your email weekly, check all the messages that are sent through Parent Square, read the college and career website updates. Here is the link. Also check for college websites, pay close attention to the deadline. Visit the Pittsburgh High School website regularly for specific updates on Pittsburgh High School website class of 2023 to see what is happening, what is going on for the class of 2023. These are some of the summer suggestions that we have for parents. Volunteer, obtain an internship or a job. The students is the best time for you to get all this community service in. Take classes at a local college. Talk with your counselor first. Visit colleges. Start with the ones that are closer to you and then go further out to the ones that you're interested in. Begin working on draft of college admission essays for UC. They are called personal insight questions. Here is the link. Begin to narrow your colleges list to 4 to 8 colleges, because remember, you do have to pay a fee for applying. If you are interested in the military, find a local recruiting office and speak to your recruiter. Enjoy time with your scholar. So those are some of the stuff that you could do that will be very beneficial for your student to do for the things that he might be interested in doing after high school. We also have a questionnaire that it will take only like 3 minutes. The link is in the chat. So please take a moment to fill it out. And also, if you have any more questions, please write them in the Q&A so we could answer any questions that you might have. So please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A.
There's a question as to how to find out who your student's counselor is.
You could see that, you could see who your counselor is on areas if you go under demographics, or sometimes at the bottom of all the classes, it will tell you who your student's counselor is.
And also you can look on our website because we have posted it on our website as well.
Letitia, can I share a page real quick?
Definitely.
Okay, let me see if I can do it real quick. Hold on,
I'm gonna put the link in while you're doing it.
give me a minute. I'm sorry. Trying to find that college career. College career. Hold it on. Okay, am I on mute? Can you hear me? Okay, so here's the college and career page, and here's a junior page that all parents should take a look at, parents and students. And we create a junior year action plan on things that you should be doing in the fall and things that you should be doing in the spring to make sure that you're on track. And if you want to take a sneak preview to see what you're going to be doing in your senior year, we also have one for our seniors if you want to get started early and be prepared when in the fall. So we broke the seniors page down into by month instead of by semester because there's so many things that needs to be done. So I would highly recommend that you take a look at this. Any questions you have about anything after high school, we have listed here. You have any siblings that's in lower grades, we have 8th grade, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. You have information about SAT, college applications, financial aid, NCAA, LMC, DVC, the CCGI. They need a job, military, and then our past honors night, college bound celebration events. If you want to know about how to write a personal statement, we have that here. If you want to know how to research college, you can do that here. You want to know what some of the cost is at some of the local colleges here in California and others, you can go here. Here's a brag sheet if you need a letter of recommendation. So this is just to name a few things that that we have. Here's some resources that we have that also organizations that work with us to help your student. We have EOP, we have Making Waves, we have TRIO, and there are more to come in the upcoming fall. Here's a counseling page right here. Those of you who want to know who the counselors are here. Here's a counseling department. Here's our secretaries, our counselors are listed here based on alpha and program. You have the Google Classroom codes. And so if you have any questions, their contact information is there. Okay. All right, I just wanted to share that. Stop sharing. You're welcome.
There's a question about how many waivers can a student get for the college application fees?
One waiver for 4 colleges. Technically, it can go another way too, but we'll talk about that later. There's some workarounds.
And another one, again, I guess it means when do students take the SAT?
If you go onto the College Board or onto our page that I just shared with you, we have the dates that the link that connects you to the SAT or ACT. But if you're planning on going to school in the state of California to a CSU or UC, it is no longer needed. Most schools are not, they call it just blind. If you're going out of state or private, you need to contact that school to see if they're still accepting it. Molly, did you put the link in? I did. I don't see it. I don't see it. No, it's not.
One parent wants to know, are parents able to come to College and Career Center to get additional information?
Yes, you can, but please call us to make an appointment so that we can be able to sit down and talk with you and not rush you out. And if it's always best to come after school, because we spend our time with the students during the day while they're still here.
Thank you.
I'm going to put the link back in the chat for the College and Career. Uh-oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Hold on. Put it back in. Ms. Moses put it in here. Let me get it.
Ms. Fu, can you address the question about the seal of biliteracy?
Yes, I know. I've been typing away here. Okay. The seal of biliteracy, you have to take 4 years of the same foreign language and receive a B average. And above and beyond that, you have to have a C average in your English classes. And you also have to score proficient in the CASP test that we just gave in the ELE section. And I know I saw a question that, and I typed the answer as far as that goes. So it's, when do we get the results? Somebody was asking that, and I don't know the answer to that, but we do see it in Aries, and I want to say it should be out in the summer. That should be about the time that it comes out, I believe, but I'm not sure. Somebody said, yeah, do their years, oh, I just missed, do their years before high school in the dual immersion program count in the 4 years needed for the biliteracy seal? So I did ask our district. And so if they took a year in, so if you get up to AP Spanish or Spanish 4, that will count. So yes, so so the answer is yes, as long as you have 4 years of a world language. So yeah, I hope that answers.
We do have a short exit survey. I placed the link in the chat, so if you could take a moment to complete that, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Over Amnesty. Oh, they do have their own. They do have some of their own. They do? Mm-hmm.
If you have any questions, if you can place them in the Q&A or the chat. We have about 2 more minutes.
I'm not sure if this was answered, but so she can't find the site where the plan was. So you have to,
I'll show it again.
okay, thank you. Thank
You mean the
you.
plan from on the CCGI? I mean on the college and career
The
page?
junior plan, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Go back here. Hold on. I'm sorry, I got so many windows open. So go to counseling and then College and Career Center. And then the junior year right here. Junior year. And there you go. Okay. Stop sharing.
Can I answer a question live? Is there a SAT waiver, fee waiver for avid students? All students can sign up on the College and Career Center website for a fee waiver. So do you want to show that, Ms. Walker?
Sorry, what do we need to do?
Show them where they can sign up for the SAT waiver.
SAT
Oh,
fee
okay.
waiver.
Okay. Okay. Again, you go to SAT. Where is it, guys? Right here. And I'm trying. Sorry, need a fee waiver? Click right here. This link right here. There's some videos. There's I can't see. I'm sorry. here, this is the 2021 SAT test dates and 2020 to 2020 ACT test dates. You want to register for SAT, you click on here. If you want to register for ACT, you click on here. Parents, let me go back to CCGI. Here's the CCGI website. Let me see, where do you go to? Oh, you go here. There's a link to get you to that link. You can go right here. I can't see. You can register your account in the top right-hand button, and it'll just ask you a few questions, and you can be able to access what the students see. So real quick, I don't know if we got time. We got 3 minutes. Let me show you something real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can share with you. So this is from the educators. So they can go on, like, for instance, here's a career. They can do an interest profiler. They can do multi-intelligence, do what they are, and to learn more about themselves and what careers they like. They can go on college here. They can apply for California Community College, the CSU, a UC, the Common Application, the Common Black Application. And then there's a lot of other helpful resources. You can click on the major to choose what major you like. You can choose your major, what degree you need with it. Talks more about A through G's, and you can do a college search. You can put in the college that your students interested in. You can find out what college offers your major that your students interested in, and many more things. But that's just a few things I wanted to share with you on what California colleges does.
Okay, there was a question about, like, where is the closest office for the recruiting for the military?
Our office. Recruiters are here in our office, all branches, except the Air Force doesn't come as often as the others, but you can come here, and there is a recruiter station that's on Lone Tree in Brentwood near the ARCO station, right in the back of that. Someone had a question about when the students start applying for FAFSA. It's October 1st is when the FAFSA application can be submitted, but we will start working with our seniors, creating their FSA IDs in early summer and early part of September. So that's why it's very important now that if you're filing taxes this week, to please set those taxes. It's 2022, it's 2021, right?
Yeah, this week's tax.
Okay, yes. So please put those taxes aside, because we'll be needing that to complete their college, FAFSA application. It's very important.
Ms. Fu, there's a question about how does Pittsburgh High School work with students who are part of the National Honors National Society of High School Honor Scholars. And if I'm correct, is that the one where they make you pay the $90 fee?
I believe you are correct. Yes. Do you want to answer that?
I'll answer to the best of my ability.
Okay, and then okay.
That is not an organization that works with Pittsburgh Unified School District. That is optional for students. It is, I think a lot of people confuse it with the National Honor Society. So there's the name is fairly close, but it's different. So if you did sign your student up for that, that's fine, but that is not an organization that Pittsburgh High School works with.
Now, one of the questions, can we meet with their counselor?
Absolutely, thank you. On the website, there is contact information. So I would highly recommend, you contact the counselor, email, phone, and set up an appointment. Yeah, so we can definitely, we can definitely help you out and, start planning.
Great answer.
You see the question, we already completed the FAFSA last year. Do we need to update the financial tax documents?
I answered it.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
And just FYI, as long, when your student goes to college, they will have to do the FAFSA every year.
And parents, please keep your username and password somewhere where you'll remember it, because what we found out is when we're doing FAFSA with our students, unfortunately, it's the parents that's holding everyone up. There was a question, will the link work for 2022? Which link are you referring to?
I know, I just answered that. I wasn't sure what the question was, so I asked her to clarify.
There's a question, can they do something for the school that would help them for the community service hours? Yes, if you join the clubs are always doing events and participating in certain things you can do to help get community service hours.
Yep, and I'd like to also put a plug in for sports events. They always need volunteers to help at sporting events, track meets, volleyball games, things like that. So definitely. They can help out in the library. They can help out a teacher.
College and Career Center can help there. There's another question about biliteracy. Dan, Darlene.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I didn't mention the AP test, but you are correct. If she passed the AP Spanish test with a 3 or higher, then she will not need to take Spanish her senior year. You are correct. For the seal of biliteracy.
It says that the question, the kids have to be here at this meeting. This meeting was really for the parents. The kids will either already heard the information or will be hearing it again. I don't know about did anybody have any information about senior pictures in July? I don't know anything about that.
Ms. Espinosa answered that one, I believe.
What was it about the senior pictures? Yeah, I answered it. They will be getting the notifications in the mail after June. And also somebody did ask what would happen if they cannot take them. They will have a makeup date, but they have to just be on top of making sure they read all the messages because they could lose the deadline for to make their appointments because they fill up fast.
And there's a question regarding LMC classes or DVC classes for computer science. Yes, absolutely. The schedules did come out, so you can look at the schedules at LMC. Has DVCs come out, ladies?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Summertime
DVC
schedule, I know LMC summer schedules.
The summer schedule.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, we know the LMC one has come out, so please, take a look at that and you can see the different computer science classes they have and see if there's any of those classes that interest your student. And to talk to the counselor.
Someone asked a really good questions. Can we apply for scholarships now? Yes, you can apply for scholarships now. If you check out our scholarship page on the college and career page, you can see there are very few for juniors right now, but if you control F and type in juniors, then you'll see the couple, if they're not closed yet, but there were a couple. Also, senior scholarships, they'll start opening early like August. So please, even though we're not in school, please check that website often and early because the early bird gets the worm. And a lot of students are not even thinking about scholarships at that time. So your chances of getting a scholarship is pretty good. Also, speaking of scholarships, thank you for bringing that up. So every year, Pittsburgh High School offers the local scholarship and we open that on November 1st and we close it on December 31st. So you have a short time to get it done, but we ask that all seniors apply for the local scholarship and start asking for your letter of recommendations now. Okay, because some of the times their favorite teachers leave and then they may want to get a scholarship, a letter of recommendation from them. But I would highly recommend that they start asking now for letter of recommendations. Because when we come back in August, we're ready to rock and roll.
Oh, did you see that question? This is a great question. Does the College and Career Center offer skills assessment to help guide students to select a career? If so, how do they go about applying to take it? Okay. Through the CCGI, we have many assessments.
I'm going to share that screen again.
Yeah, it's such a fan. So your student should have taken some of these. So yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Walker.
So here again, here's the career sets. Here's the career tab. They can click on interest profiler. They will get started. Sorry, it's probably weird from here. They can press this button and it'll ask them a number of questions about what they're interested in, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, what, and based on their answers, we'll give them a list of careers that match their interests. And then they can click on the careers and find out more about it. And it has little videos, what their responsibilities are, how much money you'll make, what degree you need to go, what colleges offer, and things of that nature. And then they can heart it. And then we're able to see which careers that student is interested in. And then when they come in and talk to their counselors, that come and talk to us, or come in home and talk to the parents, they can share what career that they chose and what major that they will need to do once they go to college in order to do that career. Does that answer the question for you? Oh, recommendations. It says, do recommendations have to come from teachers only? No, it can come from, again, your teacher, counselor, your community leader, political leader, your boss, your rabbi, your pastor, any adult that's not related to you, because then you play favoritism in. You guys are asking really good questions. I highly recommend that your students take a class, a dual enrollment concurrent class at LMC for our rising seniors, which is your students. If they are interested in taking a summer class, please have them come see me or Miss Mosley as soon as possible. And then in the fall, we be offering dual enrollment classes here on campus. So if they're interested in taking those classes, please come see me this week, ASAP. Talk to their counselors about, taking a course, and if the counselor thinks it's okay, they'll add them to the list, and we'll call them in to get them started with the application process.
There's a question about when students ask for a letter of recommendation for future scholarships, what information should they provide to the person they're requesting it from?
What information should they provide? There's a brag sheet on our page that you can download and answer those questions and share it with whomever you're going to ask to write you a letter of recommendation. Any other questions?
There's one I don't think nobody has answered. Can they do community service at the police department?
You can do community service anywhere that's safe.
Yeah, we don't tell the students anywhere that they do not get paid. Any a profit organization.
Many times organizations will send us email asking for assistance from students. And we'll send it out to our reminder, letting them know where it's available and how many hours and what the duties are that they're looking for. Leticia, good question. What classes are offered at the LMC dual enrollment? So in the fall, they offer administrative justice and a counseling class. And in the spring, they offer a theater drama class and counseling during the second semester, which I highly recommend. Those are some of the popular classes that our students have taken over the years.
I think the answer to this is no, but Ms. Fu, you can verify. There's a question, is there any other seals that you can qualify for? To my knowledge, the seal of biliteracy is the only one that that our students would be eligible for. Is that correct?
Correct.
I want to thank everyone for attending this evening's presentation. If you haven't had an opportunity to exit survey, the link is in the
Community
chat.
service hours are turned into the to one of the counseling offices.
Again, thank you for attending this evening. If you haven't had an opportunity to exit survey, the link is in the chat. And thank you everyone for attending this evening.
Thank you for connecting with us.